Welcome everybody. This video is to teach you how to use a relaxation strategy that is called progressive muscle relaxation, or sometimes referred to by its initials PMR. PMR is a very widely used relaxation strategy. It's probably the most taught relaxation strategy that I'm aware of. And it can be done by young children as well as adults. I actually learned it when I was about 9 or 10 years old. My dad taught it to me when I was struggling with childhood insomnia. He had learned it when he was in the hospital recovering from an accident. So it can be used in a wide variety of settings, whether it's for stress reduction when you're going through a difficult life situation, or if you're just having trouble sleeping at night, or if you just want to add it to your toolkit of things that you do on a regular basis just to kind of help you with good stress hygiene. It can be something that you just practice daily to just kind of remind yourself that it's okay to take a break and let your body and mind feel better. And the way that progressive muscle relaxation works, it's kind of twofold. It relaxes you while you're doing it, but it also sort of trains your mind to become more aware of when you are holding muscles tight. Because when we experience chronic stress, sometimes what happens is we walk around and we're holding our muscles so tight, and we're so used to doing that we don't even realize that we're holding our muscles tight, but we just kind of feel achy and sore all the time. Well, when you start using progressive muscle relaxation, you're almost training your brain to notice when you're holding those muscles tight so that you can actively intervene to just let them go. Because it doesn't do us any good to hold them tightly. We can actually purposely intervene to relax them, and it just simply makes us feel better. There's no downside to it. As we go through this, I'm going to be using a term that I just want to familiarize you with. It's called isometric muscle contraction. Some of the muscle movements that I'm going to ask you to do as we go through this are isometric. And what that means is that you're going to be almost imagining that you're pulling the muscles inward to hug your bones. So there's not necessarily going to be a movement. You're not necessarily going to move your joint at all or lengthen the muscle at all. The only way that the muscle is going to be activated is by kind of pulling it inward. Now, that's not going to be for all of the muscle groups that we go through. Some of them I will ask you to either bend at your elbow or flex your foot, but some of them I'll be referring to this kind of isometric or static contraction of a muscle. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Do whatever works for you. If you want to move your joint when I'm asking you to just do an isometric movement, that's totally fine too. There isn't any really big right or wrong way of doing this. You're going to have to learn what works best for your brain and your body. So I'm going to just lead you through it. I'm going to just sort of talk you through it as if I would be doing if I was leading a group in doing this. If it feels like it's going too fast for you, just know that when you do it on your own, you can slow it down or you can speed it up, whatever works for you. So why don't you go ahead and put yourself in a comfortable position, and you can have your eyes open, you can have your eyes closed, you can be sitting up, you can be lying down, whatever feels good for you. You're not going to necessarily need to watch me, you just need to hear me as I lead you through this. So I'm just going to have you take a slow, gentle breath in, and as you breathe in, I'm going to have you flex your foot. And as you hold your breath, I'm going to have you hold that muscle tight, your ankle and your foot. Exhale, and now release that muscle. And breathing in and breathing out. And as you take your next inhalation, I'm going to have you tighten the muscles in your legs by imagining that you're pulling your muscles inward so that the muscles of your legs are hugging the bones of your legs. And I'm going to have you hold your breath and hold those muscles tight. Exhale and release. Breathing in and breathing out. On your next in-breath, please tighten the muscles in your hands by making fists and by tightening the muscles in your arms by bending at the elbows. And I'm going to have you hold your breath as you hold all of those muscle groups tight. And as you slowly exhale, you can release, slowly opening your hands, straightening your arms, maybe even letting Your hands and arms fall heavily into your lap. Breathing in and breathing out. As you take your next gentle breath in, I'm going to ask you to tighten the muscles in your abdominal region where we actually hold a lot of stress and we don't even realize it. And what you can do is you can imagine that your belly button is giving your spine a kiss. So you're going to pull your belly button inward as you hold your breath. Exhale and release, letting go of the tightness. You may even notice that on your next breath in, there's a little bit more space as those muscles relax. Continuing to breathe gently in and out. And on your next inhalation, you can tighten the muscles in your shoulders and back by shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears and pulling your shoulder blades back. Hold those muscle groups as you hold your breath. Exhale and release. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing yourself to notice the difference between tight and relaxed. On your next breath in, I'm going to have you tighten the muscles in your face by squinting your eyes and pursing your lips and furrowing your brow. Hold your breath. Hold those muscles tight. And as you exhale and release, you may notice the muscles around your eyes softening, your cheeks softening. You may even notice that your mouth opens slightly as your jaw relaxes. Breathing in and breathing out. And we're going to move to finish the activity by taking one last slow, gentle breath in and tightening all those muscle groups. Just pull those muscles inward towards the bone. Hold. Exhale and slowly release all your muscles. Now, for young children, it can be difficult to isolate muscle groups, as we've just done, as we've moved through this activity. And so I'm going to teach you to do it with your children the way my dad taught me how to do it, and then I'm going to add an extra little twist that he taught me at the end that I haven't heard anyone else teach this one, but I really like it and I use it, so I'm going to teach it to you as well. So what my dad would say is, instead of worrying about an isometric movement or bending at the knee or tightening the muscles in your arms, he said, imagine that your body is filled with sand. And as he would lead me progressively from my feet up to my head, he would just say, imagine that you're squeezing the sand in your foot, or imagine that you're squeezing the sand in your leg. And just by adding that little bit of a visual, it can help younger children who have difficulty isolating the idea of the muscle in their legs or in their arms, by imagining that they're squeezing the sand and then releasing. And that little bit of extra visual can really help. And you can try it too if you're a grown-up. You don't have to be a kid to try it. The extra little bit that my dad added at the end of it was for you to imagine that because your body was filled with sand, you can also imagine the sand draining out of your body. And so after I had tightened and relaxed all the muscles, he would say, imagine that at each big toe, there was a little bit of a hole that opened up, and the sand would slowly leak out of your body. And you could even imagine yourself lying on the beach and the sand in your body joining the grains of sand on the beach. And it doesn't matter what direction you go. You can start imagining the sand draining down from your head as you empty out the sand, going lower and lower throughout your body, or you can imagine it draining out of your feet first and then working upward. For me, the way that works best for me is, since I've progressively tightened the muscles moving up, as I let the sand drain out, I start at my head and I imagine it draining, almost like a glass of water emptying out. And by the time I get down to the sand leaving the bottom of my feet, I'm completely empty of the sand and my whole body is relaxed. So there you have it, progressive muscle relaxation, a very widely used activity for stress management. And just remember, if you try this activity and it doesn't work for you, that's okay. There's going to be lots of other activities that I can teach you. There's lots of other resources out there. Not every activity works for everybody, and that's totally fine. And if you find that the way I taught it to you doesn't work exactly and you tweak it a little bit to make it work better for you, that's great. That's what you should be doing. That's what I hope that you're doing, is just exploring and having fun with this and reminding yourself that even when we feel out of control with what's happening in the world around us, what we do have control over is how we respond to stress. And by actively intervening and reminding ourselves that it's okay to take a few minutes and send that signal from our brain to our body to relax, we can actually feel a little bit better. And even if we just feel a little bit better for a few minutes every day, that adds up every day and contributes to better stress hygiene and helps us be more resilient so that we can better handle other stress that comes our way. Thank you for giving this a try, and I will be back with other videos throughout the week.